This is the third generation of the R15, with the first ever model having launched way back in 2008. Firstly, it clearly has been at the receiving end of R1 or R6 inspired bodywork, and it works gorgeously in this pint-sized package, too. I often find myself saying looks are subjective, but I think the R15 V3 warrants universal agreement on its styling. It's terrific and, more importantly, a balanced overall design. Previous R15 have been underwhelming in some aspect, but this one is a job completed perfectly. The new design has introduced twin-eye LED headlights which look sinister, especially with that air duct housed between them. The bubble visor is neatly integrated and feels substantial. The gills on the fuel tank scream R1 and the tail end does exactly the same as well. Another nice touch is the two-tone paint job, the other one being a gloss red on matte gray, which adds to its lithe, aggressive design. The new all-digital instrument cluster is horizontally laid out with a white backlight as well as a shift light in the same shade, and is informative but not complex. Overall, the R15 version 3 looks impressive. The 155cc, liquid-cooled, SOHC, 4-valve motor may be familiar in its basic construction, but has noticeably different implications in its current form. The motor now has a 1mm larger bore, a new intake and exhaust system, and it also sports variable valve actuation. The VVA system essentially employs a solenoid coil-based valve operation mechanism that utilizes low-cam and high-cam intake rocker irons, and this is an appreciable impact on its performance at either end of its rev range. To translate it into relatable context, previous R15, as most of you would know, suffered from unimpressive low-end performance, and VVA takes care of that remarkably well. The VVA also helps the engine feel meaty even well past 8,000 RPM, and that, on a relatively fast motorcycle such as this one, is a lot of fun. Not to mention, the motor now produces 19.3 horsepower at 10,000 RPM and 15 Nm of torque at 6,500 RPM, which has contributed considerably to its performance. Also new is a slip-and assist clutch, making the R15 version 3 the first 150cc motorcycle in India to offer this feature. As a result, you get a clutch lever that's light in operation and a rear wheel that's no longer interested in hopping under hard downshifting. On the R15 version 3.0, however, this unit works so well that you try and find excuses to downshift hard. The transition from higher to lower gears is beautiful, and it irons out your imperfections and quest to push the bike's limits in the most impressive manner. This is, undoubtedly, the best engine gearbox combination Yamaha has offered on the R15 yet, and, just for this reason, some of its engineers deserve a serious hike in their annual contract. Not everything's perfect about it, though. For one, it's the riding position itself. Riders above 5 feet 10 inch will find it cramped, but it's not a deal breaker, and it does seem roomier than the V2. The riding geometry is now even more committed than before, given that the clip-ons are set lower than before and the seat height being 15 mm taller at 815 mm. While I didn't mind this on the racetrack, one urban commute is all it will take to deliver the verdict on this aspect. If you can't guess it already, that is. Another area where Yamaha needs to log in the hours is quality. You don't expect strangely rough and inconsistent welds and surfaces. The chassis and the handlebar triple clamp being prime examples on an R series machine, and certainly not on one that costs Rs 1.25 lakh. The switchgear, too, seems to have come off the FZ25, and while thought's not a burdening disappointment, it won't hurt to see more premium and exclusive switches from Yamaha. Lastly, while LED lights are certainly the future, I hope the ones on the R15 don't turn out to be anything like the weak and jittery FZ25.